New stuff. Amigos, welcome back to Figure Amigos Show. Of course, it's your boy Media, and I have Sam here. We are doing health check on Manchester United, of course, my favorite team. Um, Again, where do we start? We are past half of the season right now, and it's a wonderful time to kind of have a 10,000 foot view of our teams, seeing where they are from a health check standpoint, how they're performing, both good or bad, why that's happening, and of course, like we always do, amigos, come up with solutions really to help them either short term or long term, because that's what we do here, amigos. So like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about United and just their performance this season. From my perspective, Sam, and I would love to hear yours, especially from a neutral standpoint, because you have no connections to United. I do emotionally, and of course, as a coach, I have to watch and analyze them as well for my development as a coach. United went from starting the season well to a shadow of themselves to very inconsistent results to firing their coach. All of that conversation about 3 years, in 3 months, he was gone. And so the club made that decision, some would say based on their feelings, because they could have kept him professional and kept him there. It just seems to me that the players were just kind of done with how he handles things. Certain players that should be on the field are not. Certain players that play way too long on the field were playing. They started to do a little better, but there was still that inconsistency in results. He was let go. It wasn't a fun thing. No one. I pray no one should ever lose their job. But at that level, with all the money that's being paid, there's an expectation for you to perform and to perform in the right direction, which is winning games, especially when you're a Manchester United coach. On comes Carrick, completely changes the mood of everyone. It's like there's a revival of United now where we have life, we are getting results. Yes, today was a step back, one step back, because we drew to West Ham 1-1. It wasn't a game that we dominated possession, yes, but it wasn't a game where we had a lot of shots at goal. And I wasn't sure why, but I do think it's because we played to West Ham's strengths. They overloaded their box, lost two really in a defensive standpoint, and then when they got the ball, they broke away. It's coming Sesko to save the day. It was a very good goal, one-time shot, which I really loved. But it just seems to me that there might be a slight problem with us breaking down low block teams, and that was always going to be a question with me with Carrick. You have a blueprint to play top teams, right? And we've seen that even when we weren't doing well throughout the season, we have the ability to win games against top teams. It's the teams that are below us or half the table or below the table where they just drop numbers in their box and defend in a low block. That was always going to be the issue. And it kind of showed itself today where that quality just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. We had to sub in Sesko, and we brought in about five attacking players before we could get that goal. Again, tactical decision making was good from Carrick and his team. However, that's going to be the test, right? We're not losing games, which is always a plus. Lemons had a phenomenal game as well with wonderful saves. We did have a goal cancelled as well, Casemiro's goal, but it was offside. That's going to be the challenge now. We're not playing in Europe. We're not playing FA Cup. We're not playing Premier League. We have about 13 days now to rest before our next game, the week of the 22nd. And it's going to be interesting how we perform. Of course, drawing with beating Tottenham last week, drawing with West Ham this week, and then within a week and a half, we are going to be playing Everton on a Monday. And last time I checked, Everton beat us with 10 men. I don't think it's going to be the same results, but we have to start winning games again. You can draw one or two games, but you don't want to start drawing 4 or 5 games because then you're not in the top four. From a health check standpoint, at this point of the season, it feels to me that United are trying to stand up from lying down. That's how I could compartmentalize metaphorically how United is. They were on the ground. They tried to get up. It's like when you're trying to do push up for the first time and you're struggling to even do one push up, or your body just starts to shake. However, they've gained that inner strength with Carrick helping them up, and they are now standing. They limped a little bit today, but they're standing strong. The question becomes, can they start walking? Can they start running? Running might not be this season, right? But if we can get Champions League this season, then we're running because now we have more money. We can buy better players. There's a decision that still has to be made. Do we keep Carrick? Do we get a different coach? Do we wait for the World Cup to finish before we get a coach, or do we get a coach that's already out there? There are questions. They are good questions, right? Again, Ineos is on the board. Ineos is on the spotlight now. Another phase in their leadership to make decisions, especially with the coach and the players, based on where we end up, either in Europe or not. And so we'll have to do a review of this towards the end of the season to see where they are. But right now, we're standing up. That's going to be my analysis. The question is, can we start walking? And walking means consistency in winning games. Maybe one or two draws where you continue to win again. That's what I'm going to be looking for from United. Sam, your thoughts?
Yeah, good analysis, especially taking us back from the beginning of the season. In the last two shows, my thoughts of Man United is there's a new energy, not just because there's a new coach. I think players playing in the right positions and just player management and proper game management is definitely we can see that working out for them. If they keep that going, I have no doubt that they're gonna keep stepping up, and especially with them having less game than the top guys right now. Let me see who's in the top. I think Chelsea is still in the Champions League.
Yes,
Um,
they're in the Champions League right now. Yep,
okay, so
Man City's there
United
as
is
well
get
too.
yeah. Of course, the great Liverpool is there as well. So my point is, Man United has Man United has plenty of opportunity to just ride a wave, ride a wave. I won't be surprised with the 1-1 draw. However, I don't like that even while the new coach, the interim coach, is doing well, is performing, breaking down top opponents, we're still talking about his position. We're still reminding him that, hey, you're only going to be here to the end of the season. I think it's madness. Those things should not be, the issue should be, we should be seen in the media. Of course, Man United, excuse me, the leadership is probably pushing that as well. There's no need to remind him. Just let him get the job done. Let him get to the end of. This is why I question the board right now. Like, you should be making your decision in closed doors. If you have a new coach that's coming in, we don't need to know. Just wait to
Mhm.
the end of
I
the
agree.
season, and the guy himself might just say, you know what, I'm resigning. I thank you, because that's what he did when the management fell on him when he was assisting. Was that Sosja or who is it? Oh,
So he came in for Solskjaer, yes.
okay. So he just bowed down. He humbled himself. He bowed down. So I think we should be. That's what we should. Right now, we should just focus on the pitch, focus on the win. Let him keep that momentum, keep going. Then after the season is over, preferably before the player goes on World Cup, make your announcement of your new coach. If he's going to be the one that gets the job full time, so be it. Right now, let's just focus on winning. But in terms of how they're doing overall, I think they are on a path to finishing strong. Um, yeah, again, they have a good goalkeeper. Um, I'm pleased with the midfield and definitely attack as well. I don't know much about yours back line, but again, there's some. It seems like things are going well, so we can only go up from here.
Absolutely. I mean, he has again. So I remember when we talked about this. What about 3 4 weeks now, where we talked about what Carrick has brought to this team, especially beating Man City and Arsenal back to back. It's that simplicity, and part of that simplicity is him keeping the same players. He might make 2 or 3 or 4 changes during the game, but he still keeps the same players every single game, which that again that shows consistency because he trusts them, right? Harry Maguire did have a knock today. Euro came in and Euro actually did well, and it makes me smile because you have Euro in heaven that can take Martinez and Maguire's position if they're not doing well or they're injured. We have backups. We do. Um, there's an opportunity for Shea Lacey to maybe play a cameo or two on the left or on the right. Xerxes came in today. He had a fairly good game. He missed a chance in the header, but it was a tight one. We do have options. The question becomes, can we break down those low block teams consistently? Because a lot of the games we're going to be playing, bar Chelsea game coming up at some point, um, Newcastle at some point. I'm thinking about the top 10 teams, Everton coming up in 2 weeks' time. Aston Villa at some point. Those are the games that I'm looking at and seeing, okay, should be able to start winning these games. When we start to play teams below the table, like your Leeds, Brightons of the world, Northern Forest of the world, those are the games we absolutely have to win. Absolutely have to win. No exceptions. And so Carrick has his work cut out for him, but I think he's on a good stride and long may that continue. Amigos, like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about what you think, how Manchester United is doing from a health check standpoint. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Definitely would love to read them as well. Of course, we'll evaluate all of our teams at the end of the season. But again, for United, health check, they have to get Champions League. If they're going to start running and not just walking, they're going to have to get Champions League. And that means winning more games than losing and keeping up with the top four or top five, definitely top four table. We're not going to challenge for the league. Let's not even talk about that. However, we need to be in a position of Europe to be able to be relevant again and be able to start getting players and rebuilding the team towards Champions League. That's the goal there, and just some stability once the season goes to an end. Thank you, amigos. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts as well. We'll see you all soon. Stay positive. Thank you, amigos.
Thank you.